Merry Christmas! And we are here to wish you a very Credo Christmas. Well, hey, welcome to the Chris and Ryan Credo Report. I'm Ryan, he's Chris, and you may notice that we look a little different today. This is our very first ever Christmas special. And I know we told you all we were taking a break, but the truth is, we just wanted to give a special Christmas gift to you. And it's us. Wow. That's almost as cheesy as Mariah Carey.
We should probably talk about that one later.
Yeah, that's later. So we saw this article on Christmas, right? The city in Wisconsin. You tell us a little bit about this article.
So this article, I will not venture to say the name because this is
the city
of the city.
That's because you can't pronounce it.
I will kill it. I will murder the name of that
I know.
city. I'm not even going to try. So anyway, this city wants Christmas to be inclusive. And it's really hard for me not to have a little bit of sarcasm as I'm saying that because I've read the article. So the idea is making Christmas where it is inclusive to all residents.
Right. And the main thing that they say is regardless of their beliefs, which I don't know if they know this or not. Christmas is a Christian holiday.
You know, even before we go to the article, here's my issue, right? If I was in Israel, which I go there from time to time,
Okay,
right?
sure.
And it's one of the Jewish high holy days. And I'm greeted in some way that is a way that you would greet somebody, a Jewish greeting for that holiday. I would never be offended. I would never say, well, I'm not a Jew, I'm a Christian. Don't greet me like I don't get this whole trying to sanitize the Christianity out of our holidays.
Well, yeah. It's just basically this thing of we can't have Christian things. And you know, a lot of times people say, well, this is the trend of a culture. I will say because things are so specific towards Christianity that we know what this is. This is an attack from the enemy that wants to take away anything that celebrates Christ.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Let's jump into the article. Let's jump into the article, right? So I'm going to jump right ahead into this article. This is from the Deputy City Administrator, Melissa Weiss is her name.
Okay.
So I'm just going to read what she wrote. I'm not going to read everything, but I'm going to read parts of it. City employees. As the holiday season approaches, Mr. Archambault, I guess that would be the mayor maybe, or the city manager, because she's the, what is she? The assistant. She's the deputy, which means assistant deputy city. So maybe he's the city administrator.
I would imagine.
And I ask that you take some time to reflect on our commitment to create a welcoming and inclusive environment for all residents and visitors to our buildings, as well as all our coworkers. We strive to ensure that every visitor to our building feels valued and respected regardless of their individual beliefs and traditions. Currently, Christmas decorations are prevalent throughout public counters at City Hall and perhaps other buildings as well. While we understand the significance of this holiday for many, it is important to recognize that not all city name, I don't know, employees, residents, or business owners celebrate Christmas. And our ongoing efforts to foster a more equitable and inclusive community, we believe it is crucial to be considerate of how we decorate public spaces during this season. To that end, and I'm just going to read this paragraph, I'm not going to read all the rest of it. To that end, we kindly ask that departments refrain from using religious decorations or solely associated with Christmas, such as green and red colors, when decorating public spaces within city buildings. Instead, we encourage you to opt for more neutral and inclusive decorations that celebrate the season without favoring any particular faith belief system. And then it goes on to make 5 or 6 suggestions on what they do.
Of course, one of those suggestions is snow people.
Snow people.
But anyways, I digress. what I think is interesting there is this isn't like a place where it's like, oh, nobody here wants to do it. Nobody here wants to put up the decorations. So we're just going to say, let's not go ahead and do it. Because the article states that the decorations that are specifically Christmas are already prevalent throughout everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, we have to do something about this because everybody's over here being all happy and celebrating Christmas. We better step in and stop that.
The two things that bother me about these 3 paragraphs I just read.
Yeah.
There's 2 things that bother me, and it's in the last full sentence. Neutral and inclusive. If you tell me that I cannot express my religious convictions in my religious holiday, that's not you're not including me.
Right.
And you telling me to neutralize my religious belief during my religious holiday.
Yeah, because that's the reason I say you can tell this is a spiritual attack because everybody gets to be included except Christians.
Right.
But it's crazy because this is one of the biggest Christian holidays ever.
This is our second highest holy day.
Right.
As Christians, we have 2 high holy days. We have many holy days, but 2 high holy days. The first being Easter, because that's what makes us Christians.
Right.
Where that is the resurrection of Christ. And that is how we find forgiveness and wholeness in Christ through his resurrection. That's how we have a relationship with God. That's our highest holy day.
Yes.
Our second highest holy day is Christmas because Easter can't happen if Jesus wasn't born. So it goes in that order.
Does make sense.
So this is our second highest holy day. So no, I won't make it neutral. Sorry, not going to happen.
Right. And it's just ridiculous. And this just speaks to kind of it's the overall trends in the world. As the nation becomes less and less Christian, the problem that they face is there are certain things that Christians have that everybody likes. Everybody loves Christmas, whether they're Christian or not.
Right.
In America, at least.
I used to work with a guy that he was Muslim, right? And this was many, many years ago, but he actually told me once that he loves Christmas. And I was a little confused by that. And he said, I love the idea of what you're celebrating. You're celebrating the coming of God. You're celebrating peace and harmony. And he's like, you guys even say peace and goodwill to men. He's like, that's a great thing to celebrate.
Sure.
So why are we?
Because specifically it's the birth of Christ. And you can't have peace and you can't have goodwill without Jesus.
Without the Prince of Peace.
Without the Prince of Peace. And so there's a tendency to want to pull back from that and go, well, let's just take over the holiday and make it what we want. And so what do they want? They want it to be more like a winter holiday. They want it to be like we're celebrating family and good feelings and snow and
yada yada.
Yeah, just whatever.
Just ridiculous.
But it's like this. Understand that without the birth of Christ, Christmas would not exist. There would be nothing to celebrate. Winter itself, they didn't have winter festivals. They didn't have these things that doesn't exist without Christmas, without Christ. And so while there's this urge to take over the holiday because they love the feels, they love all the stuff, they love, snuggling up by a fire with hot chocolate with family and having days off of work and giving gifts to each other. It's like, but none of that makes sense without Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what are you doing it for without being centered around Christ? And everything that we do during Christmas is a celebration of Jesus.
Yeah.
Gift giving. It's a reminder that the ultimate gift was given to humanity, which is Jesus. And secondarily, we give gifts because the 3 kings, the 3 wise men, gave gifts to Jesus. So when we give gifts, that's why we do it. We're supposed to be remembering parts of the story.
Everything has symbolism to it. The tree, it's an evergreen because it's everlasting life. It's something that has life when everything else is dying.
The lights that are on the tree are representative of Jesus, who is the light of the world. Everything. Yeah. The star on the top is to remind us that there is the one focus, Jesus, the star that led the
wise men
too. Or some people put an angel up there. It's to remind us that angels heralded Jesus' coming. Everything is about Jesus. And it should be.
So that kind of brings me, I know, like, we just sort of talked about this story, but I mean, I don't know how much there's to say, like, come on, people, let us celebrate Christmas. Let us put up our nativity set. Let us say Merry Christmas. Let us, I don't know, what else do we do? Give gifts in the name of Jesus.
You know what's funny is I do want to point out is it said, refrain from using religious decorations or solely associated with Christmas, such as red and green, right?
Oh boy, that would have been terrible in the 90s when everybody decorated everything with red and green.
But but later on, these are suggestions that Melissa said, do it this way, right? Number 2, number 3, it's Northern Lights. Draw inspiration from the Aurora Borealis and incorporate colors like blue, green, and purple. Well, am I supposed to refrain from green or use green?
Well, I guess it's the combination of red and green.
I'm just like,
right now your hat is probably very much offending them because it has red and green. It's probably offending most of our viewers, but I like it.
It's a little flashy. See, wait. Look,
wow.
Let me just wait.
Now it's steady.
Wait a minute. There we go. Ooh.
Whoa. Turbo Chris.
There you go.
Back to normal, Chris.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
So, I mean, we could go on and on about this. Well,
let me just ask you, because we brought up some stuff, the Christmas trees, the giving of gifts, all this stuff. And of course, everything has capitalized on that. Right. You go down to places, there's tree markets, you're looking at gifts, you're buying gifts for people you don't like. You're having decoration wars with your neighbors. Not me. I couldn't even, my neighbors would kill me in decorations. We live in one of those neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So
there's a couple when I'm driving into your neighborhood. There's a couple.
And I remember one time, because our neighborhood was so decorated that they actually had 2 years boycotting Christmas lights because the traffic was so bad. It took me over 45 minutes to get from the front of the neighborhood to my house. That should be like a 1-minute drive.
Yeah, it's pretty short.
It was like 45 minutes.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of light lookers. Well, I mean, that's what they're doing.
You light looker.
Anyway. And so, but what's your thought about this? Like this commercialization of Christmas, the taking of, we want to have nativities. So now they build nativities out of everything. Like we probably have 8 nativity scenes in the house. And
before I answer, you brought up nativity sets, right?
Yes.
I love Charlie Brown. The Peanuts gang.
Yeah. I think most people do.
Love them, right? I just got an ad somewhere, might have been from Amazon or whatever. There is a Charlie Brown nativity set. I want it so bad. I may make that happen next season. I may make that happen next Christmas season.
Yeah.
So the commercialization of Christmas, I struggle with it.
Really?
I do.
Yeah. Well, and I hear so many people say that they hate the commercialization because it takes the focus out of Christ. Like we're just supposed to be focused on Jesus.
Well, and that's my struggle. Like I don't like things that distract away from Christ.
Yeah.
Like everything, we should be all about Jesus, but I really love Christmas.
Well, I'll tell you what my thoughts are. I actually am very okay with the commercialization of it. In fact, I like it. Not so much in the sense that I don't think people should be going into debt trying to keep up with stuff for Christmas and doing things like that. But what I like is I sit here and look around and I know, I know all my neighbors. I know like going down the street and I know who's Christian and who's not. But during Christmas, whether they realize it or not, every single person is celebrating Christ because they're all putting up decorations. They're all going to give gifts. They're all going to put up a tree. And many of them are going to have nativity sets and they don't even believe in Jesus, but they're going to have them and they're going to sing songs. It's crazy how many secular artists who are putting out profane and horrible music during the year are also going to put out a version of Silent Night or a version of Joy to the World or something like that. and sing about the birth of Christ on some Christmas album.
You know, you bring up Christmas albums.
Yes.
I have probably the most unique Christmas album of all time.
I mean, earlier you were just playing, what was that? Demon Hunter?
Deliverance.
Oh, Deliverance. Sorry, Deliverance. Yeah.
But they're a Christian band.
Yes, they are.
So I have probably the most unique Christmas album. Those of our listeners and our watchers, our viewers that are 80s kids will know of the band Twisted Sister.
I think most people would know. Yeah.
They did a Christmas album called A Twisted Christmas.
Really?
Love it. It's so fun.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Any purely spiritual songs on that?
Yes.
Like they have the first Noel or
yes,
something like that on there.
Actually.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's why I like this stuff about Christmas coming out, is that Jesus is basically, I feel like Christmas is this time where heaven says, I demand worship from everybody, whether they are Christian or not, and the whole world complies. And the whole world does it through weird Santa hats even. We'll get to Santa in a little bit, but it gets through, we are celebrating Jesus whether we realize it or not. Now, what I will say is that if you're a Christian family, there should be some intentionality to your celebration. But I'm just saying, I like going through the malls. Or I like malls. We have malls anymore?
I mean, we do. Yes, I promise we do.
Okay, we have some malls. I like going through the stores. I like going through places and seeing things that are set up that, whether they realize it or not, are celebrating Jesus. It's saying Christ was born, and this is the day, whether it was really December 25th or not, I don't care. It's the day we have set aside and said, we're going to celebrate that Jesus was born. God came in flesh to the earth. And even if it looks like a cheesy display in a store, it is still, someone said, I'm putting up a display for a reason. I'm doing extra work, extra something to make something look just that much more pretty. And it's in celebration of Jesus. And that's how I view it.
To answer your question
back to Twisted Sister.
I went and looked up. They actually do "O Come All Ye Faithful."
"O Come All Ye Faithful" by Twisted Sister. Yeah, that's interesting because when you think of Twisted Sister, faithful would not be the...
No, wouldn't be the thing, but they do. So, what's interesting is when asked about how do I feel about the commercialization of Christmas, I almost recoil, right? I'm like, well, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I would say this. I was just in the Philippines in October. And if you've not been to the Philippines...
I have not.
It's a great place. I love the people there. But they have what they call the Burr months.
The Burr month? Is that like for cold, like Burr?
September, October, November, December. They start celebrating Christmas September 1st. It's the Burr month. They celebrate Christmas, right?
Dude, that's worse than there's a girl in our church. Our children's pastor, Michelle, starts October 1st.
Yeah, well, in the
Philippines,
worse. We should send her to the Philippines. She would be so.
Apparently,
you go to the malls, malls are a big deal in the Philippines.
A giant in the Philippines. Yeah. She's like almost 6 foot.
Well, she would be huge. Oh. So anyway, they celebrate, and it is very commercialized. It's funny. You go to the Philippines, which it's 15 degrees away from the equator, so it's hot there all the time. But yet they decorate with snowflakes and snowmen. Not snow people, snowmen. Anyway, but you look at it and it's like a commercialization is what you think, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they are so happy and they love it. and so maybe it's not so bad. I don't know. It's something I have to think on because maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it really is. By celebrating it and commercializing it to a degree, maybe it is changing us. Maybe it is making us better. Maybe we are entering into that festive thing. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. There is something about it, the whole of it, that lifts me up, that gets me excited for Christmas. Now, the one thing that doesn't is parking. Like the parking of Christmas at shops, that does not lift my spirits.
I've gotten to the point where I do almost all of my shopping online.
I will say online parking is much easier.
Yes. But you know what the reason is Sheila does not like to let me during Christmas go shopping on my own.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Sheila doesn't like you to see people.
No, she doesn't like me to go
Chris,
shopping on my own.
We're going to have to put you away for the season.
Go to your room. But no, and it's not because she doesn't trust me with the credit cards or anything like that. It's because during not Christmas season, I forget where I park and I can lose the car. So imagine me going to the mall where I can hardly remember where I park when it's normal. And you got 3,000 cars and my car is silver. It's not like it's not like it's a standout unique color.
Right.
It blends in with everything.
You're going to have to start air tagging your car.
I've never thought about that. I could drop a pin on my GPS.
Oh, yeah.
And just have it walking. Genius.
There you go.
Where have you been? Why haven't you told me that a long time ago?
We just solved one of Chris's main life problems. He can now go out in public in December.
So anyway, yeah. So I mean,
think that might be the thumbnail.
So, but you go to Christmas, you go to the mall, or I would say or Walmart, but no, never Walmart.
I do.
You go to the mall during Christmas, and there's something energetic about it.
Yeah.
You get energized. I used to, when I was younger, because I would put things off. I used to try to say, "Oh, I'm so busy." I just put it off. I used to be that guy that would shop like on the 23rd.
Shout out to Jeremy Bowser.
Did Jeremy Bowser do that?
So Jeremy Bowser is known for going to Walgreens on December 24th because it's the only place open to get his wife's Christmas gift. It's a standing joke with him.
I hope he gets her something decent. What does he buy her? A gallon of milk and some Band-Aids?
I think that was one year.
Oh,
it's always fun to follow him on Facebook around Christmas
to see what happens.
Yes, I mean specifically after Christmas.
So, but there's something about being around the people, and I do think, at least my experience has been, people tend to be pretty festive.
Yeah, and I still will attribute all of that and say that is in celebration of Jesus. Now, I am not going to get like people who are like, I hate the over commercialization of it and I hate all this stuff and I just want it to be solely about Jesus. I get that. Like, I really do get that. Like, I want my celebrations to be about Jesus. Mm-hmm. What I like about it is not for me. Like, I don't, like, it can exist in the world and I don't have to participate in it. But what I like is seeing the people who, without their knowledge, are participating in the worship of Jesus. And I just think it's like heaven has opened up and said, this is my time.
But here's the question that I have for you
Sure.
before we move on, is you just said, participate in the worship of Jesus. Are they really worshiping him, or is there a celebration of him?
I guess it would be a celebration.
Because there is a difference.
Yeah,
there is a difference.
You are correct. I would say it's a celebration. They're participating in a celebratory, it's like showing up for a birthday party. Whether you like the kid or not, you showed up. You got to be part of the head count.
I'm just here's what I'm thinking is, because you're challenging right now the way I think about this, right?
I know. It's really my main purpose in life.
Is just challenge the way I think.
Yeah, whether or not I really think that or not, I just want to challenge. No, I do think that.
But for me, there's mine. So for me, what you're saying though, where it's challenging me is I've never really thought about it as participating in the celebration. I've always been like, oh no, we don't want to commercialize Christmas. It's all about Jesus. Maybe it is. And maybe in a way it's fulfillment of scripture, where the scripture says every knee will bow, every tongue confess that Jesus is Lord. Maybe this is a fulfillment of scripture in a way.
Yeah.
And we understand that what that scripture means, that scripture is talking about the end time where we all confess that Jesus is Lord. But maybe this is a way to fulfill that, where when we're all celebrating, we are acknowledging Christ in there.
Or what about the scripture where the Pharisee said, Jesus, tell your disciples to be quiet. And he said, if they do, even the rocks will cry out. Trees of the field will, well, that's from Psalms. The trees of the field will clap their hands. Like, worship, praise, adoration is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen.
Really good. I've not thought about it that way. So maybe we want it to be more commercialized then.
I don't know. I don't know if more commercial. Calm down there, Chris. No. But one of the biggest frustrations we have with the commercialization of Christmas has been the advent of bringing other things into it that aren't specifically Christian. And one of the big ones, well, not one of, the biggest is Santa. And I don't think we have to go into it. I think everybody knows that Santa Claus is based on an actual Christian character, a guy named Saint Nicholas, who gave gifts to poor kids. Apparently, I guess he was known for wearing red hats, but I don't know if that's true. But anyways, we know that it's based on
guys wearing red hats.
So anyways, my question is, as a parent, which I'm not, but I am well ready to give some parental advice, because parents love getting parental advice from people with no kids. It's favorite thing in it. Yeah. Trust me on it.
Yeah.
So as a parent and non-parent, how do you deal with the Santa issue?
We've never celebrated Santa as a family.
Okay.
So, and that was very intentional. Sheila and I planned it. We started talking about it before we even had kids on what we were going to do. When I was raised believing in Santa. And,
yeah, I was too.
Big deal. And I remember one time, I think I was probably 7 when I stopped believing in Santa Claus. And I told my mom, don't believe in Santa Claus anymore. And she cried. She cried. Like boo-hoo cried. So I told her, I'm like, oh, I'm just kidding. Santa Claus is real. I'm so excited about Santa Claus. And
I think it's a little late.
And so for that year, maybe even the next year, I pretended to believe in Santa Claus so my mom wouldn't cry.
Okay.
And
well, at least you're a good, nice kid.
And here's the problem with that. And that really made a mark on me. And the way I think about it is that it was more about my mom than me.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't a good association. I did not associate good things with Santa Claus from there on out.
Okay.
So then, as an adult, I decided that you know what? How dishonoring is it to parents who work hard all year and go out of their way to buy these nice Christmas gifts and all of this stuff, and some imaginary person who does not exist gets all the credit, and like everybody's like, oh yay. So those are the two ways that I thought about it.
Right.
So then I became friends with this young couple. So it's been about 20 years ago. And they had very strong convictions. The first one was the husband, dear friend of mine. His name is Bill. Bill was raised believing in Santa. And when it came time where, that Santa Claus doesn't exist, he grew up in a Christian home. His first question was, well, is Jesus even real then? Because
I think that's kind of the big thing parents fear.
He couldn't think about if Santa Claus is imaginary, maybe Jesus is imaginary. Sure. So that left a mark on me. We had already made our decision not to celebrate Santa Claus, but that really cemented the rest of it for me.
Yeah.
I could go on more, but those are the three things. So
you opted not.
We opted not. So what we've always done is we celebrated on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
So we've always, and we still do it now with our adult children and now our grandchildren, is we go to church on Christmas Eve, and then we have a nice meal together, and we open gifts then from each other.
Okay. So I grew up believing in Santa Claus, and we were kind of ridiculous in what would happen there and everything. And let me tell you this: I actually grew up believing in a little bit more than Santa Claus because I grew up in a weird family.
You don't say.
I know that may come as a shock for people who don't know some of my background. I had a very weird family, but I had an aunt that told us there was an anti-Claus. So you had Santa Claus and Anti-Claus.
Like Krampus?
Sort of, I guess, but like we just call him Anti-Claus. I didn't know anything about Krampus, but this Anti-Claus. And so he would give gifts also. He would like break into the house to give you gifts. And it was always like just stupid gifts. Like that's where your socks came from, or a tube of chapstick. And that was like Anti-Claus. I don't know. So we believed in that. I also grew up in a family where they told us that the names of things were like they just made up names of things so that we would embarrass ourselves when we went to school.
Wow.
Like we were told that milkshakes were called flamboozers. And so the first time that you go to
flamboozers?
I mean, that's the kind of name.
Dr. Seuss your dad?
Kind of. Sort of. And so, yeah, then the first time that you're with people and you're like, hey, let's all go get flamboozers. And they're like, what is that? You're like, it's like ice cream and milk. Milkshakes? Never heard that word before.
Flamboozers.
Yeah. But anyways, I digress. So
I can't get past flamboozer. Anyway.
But we had Anti-Claus. But I didn't have it. Like we stopped believing in Santa Claus at some age, and then we had no trouble continuing to believe in Jesus. We didn't have any of that stuff, but I had an idea, and I don't know if this would work or not. And being as I'm not a parent, I don't have kids to experiment on. So, but my thought was this: what if you made and said, because there's no way you can ignore Santa. You have to say who Santa is. They're going to see Santa at school. They're going to see it on TV. They're going to see Santa at the mall. Do all this stuff. And so I had this idea: like, what if you told your kids, you said, there's this game that people like to play at Christmas called the Santa game, where they pretend that there's this guy who, and you explain who Santa is. You say, it's all pretend. Just tell them straight out of the bat. It's all pretend, but we'll do it. And then you even like give one small gift from Santa Claus, but you're like, this is, you just keep reiterating it's part of the game and people love to play it, and they play it at the mall and they'll play it at school. And part of the game is that you're not supposed to tell your friends that he's not real because you'll get in trouble that way at school.
My oldest son, Jacob.
Oh, I fully believe this. Whatever you're going to say, I believe it.
He's always been a very black or white person.
Uh-huh.
Things are black or white, wrong or right. It's just Jacob. And he told his friends that there was no such thing as Santa Claus at one point. And
did it go well for him?
No, because when his friends were like, he does exist. My mom said so. And Jacob says, it's a lie they tell you to be fun.
But see, so
his friend's parents were pretty mad.
I would imagine. So see, I was thinking maybe my experiment would work, like, because you would tell them you can't tell people that he's not real, but we all know he's pretend, and this is what he is. And you don't have to decorate with Santa and have stuff around, and maybe But the point is, it explains who he is. Now I'll tell you what my sister did. My sister, who loves Christmas a lot. By the way, my sister's name is Natalie Carroll. Natalie is
I thought you were gonna
Italian.
say my sister's name is Mrs. Claus.
Well, Natalie is Italian, Natale for Christmas. Buon Natale is how you would say Merry Christmas in Italy. So Natalie is Christmas. Carol is her middle name. Her name is literally Christmas Carol. So she loves Christmas. And what she would do with her kids is they did the whole Santa thing, like how every church tells you not to do it. Like believe in them, decorate with Santa.
Is this the sister that goes out of her way for Halloween with the costumes?
Oh, well, they do. Yeah. They decorate like they were all Noah's Ark. They always did biblical costumes. But yes, they were they were ridiculous and usually required carpentry skills. So yes,
She's a celebrator.
she is a 1,000% celebrator. If you get invited to our house for a holiday, like you want to accept that invitation. Their 4th of July,
Over the top.
over the top.
Wow.
Over the top. Anyways, so at Christmas, they did all the Santa stuff. And then when the kids would start to have questions, at the very first sign of a kid starting to show any type of doubt or anything, they would bring that kid into a private place because they had 4 kids. So, and they all went in order. And they'd bring the kid to a private place and they would explain to them, you're right. Santa's not real. It's a game we play. But these are the qualities of Santa. And what we wanted you to see is we wanted you to see firsthand some things that exist that also exist in someone else. Santa is a giver. And we want you to know Jesus also is a giver. And Santa likes to, see, I don't know, check and see if you're naughty or nice or something. I don't know what all she went. I don't know how she did it. I don't think of the naughty and nice thing when it was in there. It was good. She was telling me about it and I was like, hey, that's actually pretty good. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with it or not, but that's what they did is they took in and they said, these are traits that Santa has. They line up with who Jesus is. And I want you to know Jesus is real and Jesus is all these things and so much more.
Why not just celebrate Jesus?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm just telling you what my sister did. Yeah. But personally, I think I like the idea of celebrating Jesus but explaining who Santa is, but then also explaining that it's a game that people play where it's all pretend, but that you aren't supposed to ruin the pretend, for others.
Part of what really bugs me is, we spend all this time telling our kids not to lie, don't be a liar.
Yeah.
And then we say, so there's this fat guy will slide down your chimney at night and bring you gifts. Isn't that wonderful? And he's got a sleigh that, what are you doing?
I don't know this. I've never worn a hat with a ball on it before.
But then he's got this sleigh
I did
with
this
these
for you.
flying reindeer. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Reindeer don't fly.
Apparently not.
Oh, I mean, I didn't believe in Santa, but I believed in that.
but you see what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, I do. I get that. Don't lie. But also here's a bunch of lies that we're going to tell you and we expect you to believe. But
Right.
Well, that's part of parenting. The do as I say, not as I do.
No, it's not really.
Oh, is that not how you're
No,
supposed
not
to parent?
No.
Again, not a parent. So I just figured.
I just don't. I'm all about the decoration. Like Sheila put up our Christmas tree, and I'm just so happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was out of the country, and I came home to a Christmas tree, so that's pretty, pretty awesome. So and it's beautiful, and I love Christmas trees. I like Christmas music. I like all of the parties and the gift giving and all of that. Why can't we just remember Jesus through it? Why do we have to go through someone else? Because here's the deal. The scriptures teach us that there is no mediator between man and God except for Christ, right?
Right.
So we're taught that Jesus is our mediator.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we need all of this? Why do we need this Santa Claus guy as a mediator between us and Christ? Why can't we just go right to Christ and celebrate him? And maybe I'm just going a little bit overboard. I don't know. But the question is how should Christians deal with Santa?
Yes.
Don't celebrate him at all. Don't incorporate him at all. Acknowledge, teach your kids about him, and teach your kids that a lot of people have Santa Claus things and
you have to explain who he is.
Because you know what? It's not our place to ruin, quote unquote, ruin somebody else's celebration by having our kids do what my kid did and say, your parents are lying to you. We shouldn't do that. That's, I'm not going to force my belief as far as what we should or shouldn't do about Christmas on you. I'm not going to force it on you.
Yeah.
I think it's wrong to celebrate Santa. I really, really do. I think Santa Claus is fun and I understand it, but that's not what the holiday's about. And that's not what we should focus on.
Yeah. And I don't know. We actually, unfortunately, by the time this episode is out, we'll be decorated for Christmas, but we've had some problems this weekend. So we are not decorated for Christmas, but by the time you do, if you look around at all decorations, you won't find a single Santa, elf, sleigh, whatever. Like
Mhm.
they're just not part of what, because that's just not who we are.
Right.
And so I don't think so, but I do think that there's some wisdom in preparing your kids. I think that it would be a mistake
Right.
to send them into schools and places with no knowledge at all of what the heck is going on.
So the answer to the question of how should Christians deal with Santa Claus? Christians, honestly, I'm going to say Christians should not celebrate Santa Claus, should not tell their kids there is a Santa Claus, should not incorporate him into their celebration. But they should inform their children that other people believe that way, and we are not going to tell them whether they're right or wrong. We're just going to let them do what they do and leave it at that. That's how we should approach that.
I agree. Well, Chris, it's about time for
Uh-oh. Is it coming?
it's coming. Hot takes.
Hot takes.
This go around is going to be Christmas songs, and what's your initial feeling? We're going to try to keep it easy. I don't think we need to get into like craziness, but
I have a list of Christmas songs that I have put together.
Okay.
We're not going to go through all of them because we would be here too long.
Yeah, I'm just planning on going off of memory, but hey,
So I'm going to I'll pull off, but so I'll go first.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, Holy Night.
That actually is one of my favorites too.
Isn't it great?
Oh yeah. But I've heard it in multiple different ways.
Right.
I only like it when it's big and huge.
Josh Groban does a great version of it.
You know who doesn't do a great version of it? Is Crystal Lewis. And she's got one of the biggest voices in all, like just huge, like, I don't know, she's an older artist.
Yeah.
But she's just got this one of these, like, she could be powerful like Steve Green or something. Just huge voice. And then she chose to do it like this little tiny jazz house version and kept it all real tight.
No.
No.
You know who else does a great version of it? Is Celine Dion.
Probably so. See, that's the kind of powerhouse vocals
Yeah.
you want for that song. Yeah. How about I'll Be Home for Christmas?
I like it.
I think it's,
I like it.
I hate it. That's like this song about someone who's not going to be home for Christmas, saying that they'll be home for Christmas. Like, oh, I'll be home in your dreams.
But you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I
I'll
like
be
the
home.
song, but
That's what I'm going to say
it
to
doesn't
my
make
wife.
Christmas for me.
Yeah, I'll be home in your dreams. That literally is how that song goes.
Now
Tell me I'm wrong.
Now I'm like, maybe I don't like the song. I don't know. Here's one that I think is
Maybe it's a father talking to his kids.
maybe
I'll be home in your dreams.
that's awful. So here's one.
That is awful.
This is a little bit controversial. Some people love it. Some
okay.
people don't. I will tell you that I love the song, but I'm almost sick of it because I heard it 3 times. And on the look,
I've yet to hear a Christmas carol besides the one you played for me earlier.
driving to church, we heard it. After church, we heard it, and then driving home after lunch, we heard it
Oh, wow.
3 times.
Wow.
And, you know, that's like a 3.5, 4 hour period.
Same
That's-
version of the song?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
Feliz Navidad.
Yeah, Feliz Navidad. I used to really not like that song at all, but then I hung out with Roland Cuevas, and suddenly I started really liking that song.
You say that, and I picture Roland doing a little Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
dance.
For some reason, this guy, he's like, you know, just so low key and everything.
He
And
comes
that
to life.
song comes on, and his hips are moving, and he's dancing and singing, and just, yeah, he comes to life. And I just, for that alone, I'll listen to that song.
Okay.
I'm going to throw out one of the big Christmas bangers of all time. The Christmas Shoes.
That song makes me want to die. I just, it is the word. Look, it takes the sweetness out of chocolate. It takes the merry out of Christmas. It takes the mint out of peppermint. It takes the hot out of hot chocolate.
Wow.
It makes the needles of your Christmas tree fall off. It is the worst.
I wish I got a clear picture of where you stood
Oh my
on
gosh.
this song.
That song.
Yeah, nothing says Merry Christmas like bawling in sorrow. You know,
The
just
Christmas shoes. Shut up.
new song. We just have to ask you one question.
Why?
Why?
Why? Do you hate Christmas?
Exactly. What you got for me?
Oh, here you go. Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
I want to know why that even became it. Like, that song was invented in my lifetime. Like, it just shouldn't even be a song.
Right.
Like, I don't.
It's awful.
It's just, like, to me, that's just like the plot of a movie. We just turned it into, of course, I guess that's the same thing with Frosty the Snowman. That was just the plot of a TV show that they turned into a song.
Yeah.
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 And it became a thing. But Grandma got run over by reindeers. And it's not, honestly, not even that good of a plot. No, that doesn't put me in the Christmas mood. Not like
I don't even think it's
like Joy to the World speaks to me.
yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it. I'm there.
You know what other one I like?
Hmm.
God rest ye merry gentlemen.
Yes. Yes. And have you heard like Mercy Me's version of that?
I can top it.
Okay.
Jars of Clay's version.
I'll have to check into
It's
that.
incredible. That and Little Drummer Boy. They did an EP.
Oh, well, Little Drummer Boy, I'm sorry, but For King and Country basically just destroyed anyone else's hope of competing.
Have you heard Jars of Clay?
Have you heard who? Oh, For King and Country. What's their name?
Yeah, I think it's me.
That live version?
Bob Seger's better. Yeah,
Bob
said
Seger.
it. Bob Seger does a version of Little Drummer Boy. It's got a saxophone. It's so 80s.
Yeah, well, that would be. I don't know. I used to listen to it and I'm just like, this is a meh song. And then I watched the video.
It's a
Maybe
meth
it's
song. Did you say meth song?
meh,
Oh,
not meth.
like that.
My mind doesn't go to hard drugs first.
It's like I was
But-
thrown off.
But man, when For King and Country did that and I saw this video and like everybody on stage is playing drums. It's ridiculous. I'm like, that, oh, wow.
I think it's ridiculous, probably not in the same way you do.
Well then, we're all entitled to our opinion. Whose turn is it? What song? Where are we
I
at?
don't know. Give me one.
O Come Emmanuel.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love
Mhm.
it.
Jackie Velasquez does a version of that. That is really good.
There's a band, a
Most
Christian
everyone
band that's
does.
no longer together called Skies Over Bethany. They're like a screamo thrash kind of deal. Progressive rock. It's really,
Okay.
they do an awesome
Okay.
version.
All right.
The 12 Days of Christmas. Hate
You-
it.
No. So hate the actual song. Love all the parodies. So Straight No Chaser is an a cappella band out of Indiana. It's
Okay.
whatever the University of Indiana is. They have this a cappella band called Straight No Chaser. Not a Christian band, but terribly fun band. And they're a cappella and they do the 12 Days of Christmas. It mixes in Toto's Africa. I don't even know how to explain this song to you. It's a journey. It's a long song. It's got the Jewish hymn, Dreidel, 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 is mixed in with it.
Yes.
It's got everything mixed in with it. It is, and at some point they sort of forget where they are in the song and they have to just sort of improvise. Like it is fantastic. So you can, don't like the original, but some of the parodies of it are phenomenal, especially that one. And I'll encourage everyone, look it up. Straight No Chaser, 12 Days of Christmas. And while you're at it, look up Straight No Chaser, the Christmas Can. You won't be disappointed.
Okay.
That was yours, wasn't it?
That was mine.
Walking in a Winter Wonderland.
It's okay. I mean, it's Christmas. Why not?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm like.
I mean,
It's fine.
I'm not mad at it. I won't turn the radio off.
I won't skip it.
Yeah. You know what I will skip though?
Christmas shoes.
Well, you want to know what else I will skip?
Okay.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
So I had always heard that song. And yeah, I'll skip it too. And then we were talking about Christmas songs, and Anthony, the same guy that can't talk like a pirate, brings up this donkey song that I still don't know. Like what is his name? Like Didgeridoo the donkey or something. And I'm like, what? There's no song. I can't even remember. That's not even the name of the song, but it's somebody's name, the donkey. It starts with a D, like Daniel the donkey, but it's not Daniel. And I'm like, that's not a real song. And I found it's a real song. And part of the lyrics are you actually have to go hee haw in the middle of it. And I'm like, this is worse. This makes the hippopotamus song better.
That says a lot.
Yeah. It's the worst Christmas. There's not a worse Christmas song. Well, the Christmas shoe. But other than that, there's not a worse song than that donkey song. And somebody put it in the comments what the name of that actual song is, because I cannot remember.
So I've got two for you.
Okay.
They're colors.
Oh.
Blue Christmas and White Christmas.
I would skip both. Blue Christmas. Well, first of all, and I don't want to hear all the comments from you.
You're going to say you don't like Elvis.
I do not like Elvis.
Oof.
Sorry. Just.
That's a lot.
I do like a couple of the rockabilly things like Jailhouse Rock, but Blue Christmas, like it makes no sense to me. And then White Christmas, I guess, but like most of my Christmases were as a child were spent on the beaches of Fort Lauderdale. And the rest of them have been in Jacksonville. And I did spend a few in North Carolina with my sister, but it doesn't really snow there. Like, I don't think one time I went to Breckenridge, Colorado one time and had a white Christmas. But other than that, I've never had a white Christmas. And the song doesn't do it for me. But if I'm blatantly honest, I don't listen to Christmas music until at least December 23rd. And I stop on December 26th.
Oh, I've been listening to Christmas music for weeks now.
it doesn't do it for me.
Mm.
There's very little good Christmas rap and very little good Christmas goth metal. So,
all right. So I've got one more and we'll wrap up.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
This one is terrible. I don't understand why anybody likes it.
Okay.
And it's on the radio. I hear it on the radio during this time of year almost every day.
Oh, so it's a popular one.
I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, specifically the Jackson 5 version, makes me cringe.
Interestingly enough, that's a song about people discovering that Santa's not real.
It's an awful song.
Or it's a song about kids watching their mom have a supposed affair.
Yeah.
That's one of these things. Sometimes you can take like a subject that's wretched and then wrap it up in a cute tune and sing it with some nice upbeat melody. And then all of a sudden people are like, hey, this is great. And it's actually a disturbing thought if you think about it, which is not unlike I'll Be Home for Christmas.
So as we wrap up, Ryan, what are your plans for Christmas?
Oh, to eat a lot. No, I mean, I don't know what. Actually, we're going to go to North Carolina to go visit my sister and her family. She has a big family. My wife and I being here by ourselves, so we tend to travel. We're going to go up there for Christmas. It's going to be a lot of people and, just do the whole family thing. We love it. And I know that she's planned on a big Christmas meal. Plus we got cinnamon rolls in the morning. That's the non-negotiables are cinnamon rolls and hot chocolate on Christmas Day. Like, shouldn't say non-negotiable. I mean,
The expectation.
There's a high expectation. And of course my sister, like I said, she's a celebrator. So you can bet everything will be decorated to the nines. She will do homemade, like 3-day making cinnamon rolls. I don't know why it takes 3 days. I guess they have to age or something. But she does like all the stuff. I'm like the, pop open a can of Grand. She's going to do it for real. That's our plans. How about you and Sheila?
So Christmas is a 2-day celebration for us. So we start on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, we go to church.
Mm-hmm.
And after church, the family gets together. We trade Christmas gifts. We eat, trade Christmas gifts, listen to music. Because we don't have a fireplace in our house, we put on a fireplace on the TV.
Oh yeah, we do that.
From
but
Netflix
Natalie has a
or YouTube
fireplace.
or whatever. Yeah. So we do that and listen to Christmas music. And and really enjoy each other's company. And then on Christmas Day, we go to church again because what we should be doing, celebrating Jesus. But after that, because my son Isaiah is married, so he's with his in-laws celebrating. So we don't do a lot, but what we started doing some years back is we go eat Chinese food. So we go after church, we go eat Chinese food, and the Chinese restaurant, the buffet at the Chinese restaurant is packed.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Because Chinese restaurants are one of the few that are open on Christmas Day because they're Chinese. They're not Christian. They don't celebrate.
Oh yeah.
They don't celebrate Christmas. So it's packed. So, and then Sheila and I and our daughter Michael and our son Jacob go see a movie. That's our Christmas tradition as we go to the movies.
Oh, that's fun.
So we're going to go see Aquaman 2. So that's our
I didn't even know there was a second one coming out.
I just found out 3 or 4 days ago. I'm like, well, I guess that's our Christmas movie.
People often tell me that they confuse me for Jason Momoa.
I can see it.
Can you?
If I took my glasses off. So look, this has been...
It's the same thing. Like I'm 5'6", he's 6'5". It's almost the same.
There you go. You got some mirror image.
Sorry.
So this has been our Christmas episode.
Yes.
We didn't want to miss having some fun and celebrating with you. And remember, the reason why we celebrate is it is Jesus. It is all about Jesus. And that's what we want to focus on. So make sure that in your festivities, everything you're doing during this time, whether it's opening gifts, eating food, laughing, singing songs, whatever, that it's all about Jesus. That is who we are celebrating, and that's why we are celebrating. So again, thank you for tuning in as always. If you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure to subscribe. Hit the like button on this and then the bell icon to get the notifications, and share it with a friend. And from myself and from Ryan, we want to say we hope that you have a joyous Merry Christmas, and that you celebrate Jesus, and that you commune with our Lord and Savior during this time.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.